I'm live over there. Been slacking. I went. Uh, I went a couple. When I went Friday, I went Saturday afternoon, and I went Sunday. Um, Wind blew its dick off every day that I went. That was pretty frustrating. The worst day was Sunday when I went with my dad, and we fished on the east side over on the Blakely, and we fished some like shallow stuff over there, like off the river. And I came out of a couple of those creeks, dude. And when I hit the Blakely, it looked like some of that damn Alaskan crabber shit out there, dude. That was like 4 footers out in the Blakely. It was awful. And then I got loaded the boat up and drove over Chocolata, and Chocolata was slick as glass. But on the other side, on the south side of the causeway, the waves were like breaking over the side. But Chocolata was smooth as glass. I was like, dude, I never would have suspected that it would have been that smooth over there. But now I know. So next time I get over there and the wind is pounding me on one side, I'll just slip over to Chocolata. So that's the plan. Um, what y'all think? Gold eyes on the root beers. I think gold's gonna be the. I think gold's gonna be the call on that one. Uh, but I caught some fish. Um, it's funny that I don't like rules, and I don't like somebody to tell me that something is like a definitive. So I've never fished like that, and I blew my dad's mind because the tide wasn't getting in till late, and I was like, well, we don't need to get in any rush. So he we farted around and we got out there later in the day, like noon, and wind was blowing pretty good. Water was clear, tide was lower than I would have liked, and I picked up a buzz bait, and he couldn't see the bites because it was so windy, but they were biting like right on the bank, and in less than a foot of water, they were just like snugged up on the reeds because the tide was out, and that's the only place they really had to hide. That was good, but after about the third one I caught on a buzz bait, he's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Throwing a buzz bait." He was like, "It's noon and the sun's bright as it can be." I was like, "Yeah." He said, "I was always taught that you threw it early in the morning and late in the afternoon, or when it was overcast." I was like, "Yeah, that's bullshit." I said, "You need to all that old stuff you learned back in the day." I said, "You need to forget it uh, because it's all garbage. Like there are no rules." Um, so he learned something. He learned something. And I've had so many days. I don't want to turn this into a buzzbait extravaganza, but I rely pretty heavily on a buzzbait. Um, Always have. Uh, but it started when I was fishing a tournament on the Tom Bigby River in August. And if anybody has fished the Tom at Demopolis in August, it ain't fun. So I went out there and I fished till about noon and never had a bite. So I was like, dude, this sucks. So I had a sandwich in my in my box that one of the old timers gave me, and I was like, well, I guess I'll sit here in the shade and eat this damn sandwich and think about how bad I suck and what I want to do. So, and I typically don't do that, but it didn't matter at that point. Um, so, uh, I was in Rattlesnake Bend actually, Ryan, if you're familiar with that, the dead run of the river on the Tom, and I was in there, and I was pulled up next to one of the big barge pilings, and and I thought to myself, and this is probably the point in my fishing career that I learned the most because this happened again in a similar instance. But so I looked at what I was doing and I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna not get bites all day, I might as well do something that I enjoy that's fun. So said screw it. Um, I picked up a damn half-ounce lunker lure, white with a gold blade, and stand up, put all my other shit up, and I said I'm just gonna go throw this, go throw shit like fish shade, and throw this damn buzzbait. And so I start down the bank, and there's a pole that's sticking up. It's like a deadhead, and it's like way off the bank, but it's still got a little shade on it. And I fire that buzzbait by that pole, and it's probably in 15 feet of water, and a three smokes it. So, hmm. So that's a 3 pounder at noon on a buzzbait, and that's like the only bite I've had all day. That's interesting. So I thought to myself, you can do this. So I put the damn trolling motor on high and just started whizzing the buzzbait around, and I I think I had four fish that weighed 12 pounds, and I came in either second or third, and like 13 won, and like high 12s was second, and I think I was third. But I went to this other little creek that was kind of clear, and was throwing my buzz piece around in there on this bluff wall, and I saw the fish that would have given me 15, and I would have won. But the fish came out and followed my buzz bait and just like followed it off into like wherever, and didn't bite. But that opened my eyes up that all that bullshit about when to throw what is just that. It is just that. So uh, it was almost worthless like studying all the shit I did growing up because I found through personal experience half that shit didn't matter. And I've always said that about the spawn. I've said it on here before, and Todd Castledine posted a video about it today that reinforced how that I'm not crazy. That moon phases like putting fish on the bed is bullshit. Um, and like back in the day, I would always like oh, it's March, and we got a full moon coming up, and this and this and this, and like you go out there with during the full moon, and guess what? There's no fish on bed. It's like, wait a minute. According to bass folklore, which is all it is, uh, there was supposed to be fish everywhere on beds, but there's not. And it happened too many times that eventually I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna not. Uh, I'm just not gonna do that, or I'm just not gonna pay attention to the moon. And I will say the biggest key for me to figuring out if a fish is on bed, and I never have to go to the lake. I'll walk out my door in the morning at my house, and if you start seeing pollen on your like stuff, or if you can smell it, I usually smell it first before I see it. But when I first start seeing pollen, that's when the damn show's starting. So that's usually my what I go by, not the damn moon. Um, Spawn starts down here pretty early, but it like you can chase it everywhere. Like you get you get like in the bays where it's shallow, those fish and the head ends of those are gonna sometimes spawn a little quicker, or I mean they usually do. Um, but but still, like after those fish come off bed, like in now, I mean you can see fry garters and shit now. Um, but that's when you can move to the river, and then there's fish spawning on like shallow bars on the river, and you just move around, and then you can catch those fish on the river spawning, and then you can move up the river, and they're still a little bit behind those fish, and you can chase a spawn bite if you wanted to, um, you know, and get the damn job done. But pollen means put the swim bait down and lock the frog in your hand. I could believe that. I could believe that. I don't know. That's the only thing that I can like that's ever been like consistent to me is that pollen thing. And I think that just has to do with like the temperature getting right and consistent. Staying warm enough to like make things start happening. But Bobber, I like this Loctite gel. I've tried just about every super glue on the planet. I have a box over there that's nothing but super glue. I've got super glue for glass. I've got super glue for aquariums. I've got super glue for just about anything you could imagine. And I just always go back to the old Loctite gel. But I bought all that because I was on the search for a the perfect the perfect super glue, and and I couldn't find it because I wanted something that was like haze proof, not Doug Hayes proof, just regular haze with a Z. And I talked to the sales rep at Zappa Gap, and I talked to a bunch of people, and I was like, "Listen, here's my thing," because I was trying to put eyes on swim jigs and spinner baits because the people at that were making my spinner baits and swim jigs were really shitty at putting eyes on, and they put the wrong size eyes, and I was like going back and changing them and shit. And so I needed something that was fast. Like I couldn't use epoxy because epoxy was too slow. And yeah, I just stuck with the. But I did get a tip on here. And the tip to no haze is airflow. That if you can like run fans on something, if you don't want it to haze over, just get you a fan and blow on your baits, and it typically won't do one of that. Travis, I haven't, but I have. Uh, I have an old super glue out in the shop that I've been meaning to chop up and try, but I don't know if it'll. I don't know how it'll work. I don't know how it'll work. Hey, Travis Stearman, how is your how's your Stanley wedge collection? Just out of curiosity. I might be on the hunt for a spinnerbait. Uh, I prefer. I like to paint on eyes for time purposes. Well, I take that back. I love stick on eyes on the appropriate bait, like a 1.5. I love stick on eyes when they fit, when the eye slot or the eye hole is the right size for an eyeball. Like these dumbass baits I'm doing right now, the hole isn't even round. So you're just kind of like getting close. And that bugs me. When you're just like kind of laying it on the bait. Like I want it to fit. And these don't really fit. So like to me, that would be the easiest part of the bait design, would be to make a round hole. Satellite City. I haven't. Never heard of it. Very clear. I'll look into it. I get kind of nerdy on that stuff. I like finding new glues and like shit like that. Let's see. Yeah, AJ, up here late, burning the midnight. I couldn't finish what I was doing today during the day, so here I am. Oh, Travis, I was looking for. I'm actually looking for a whole bait. I can show you what it is. Let me finish these. This row. I've got two more, and I'll go grab the bait. And I'm thinking about just having it remade because they screwed it up. Like it's probably cheaper for me to just have a a mold made and have them poured for me than it is to try and like chase them down. It's probably faster, uh, and then I could sell them if somebody wants them. The hard part's finding the blades. Uh, uh, Finding good small blades is not an easy task, uh, and I don't really want to have those manufactured. So, um, because then I'd be looking at having to buy thousands of blades, which I don't want to do. Um, Definitely don't want to do that. So, all right, that was the last one for that color. Root beer. Don't blast me. Don't blast me. Yeah, the baby. That's what your boy needs if anybody knows where some live. The baby wedge. Yes. Some would say that's for little old crappie. But these bass down here like crappie sized offerings. So if anybody knows where some old Vibrashaft Stanley baby wedges are, let me know. They're an 1/8 ounce actually, Travis. They're 1/8 ounce, but they fish pretty heavy. It's interesting. Like you can throw this thing a mile on 15-pound test with like a 7-foot rod, and not like a medium rod. I throw it on a 704 Powell. Uh, let's see. Let's see. I guess I'm gonna do these next. I don't know what color to do though. So here we have kind of like a Tennessee shad. Can't see because of the light. Imagine that. Still looks shitty. But let's see. I know Eric will want red eyes on these, but I really don't want to put red eyes on them. To be honest, I don't like red eyes. Call me crazy. I just don't like red eyes. Does it look like that, Stearman? I think the ones after these had eye slots in it. Yeah, I don't care what size. I mean, I don't care what color they are. I can change that. And I would prefer it to have 2 blades and not 1. But color doesn't bother me. I don't care about color. But I'll probably just have the bait redone, like remade. And they say it's a Vibrashaft, but I really don't think it is. This actually looks like a reverse Vibrashaft where the blades connect is heavier than the R bend. if that makes any sense. Travis, did I tell you about my buddy that how he pronounced the H word, the H spinnerbait? I think I've talked about that. Horizon, Verizon, Horizon. He called me up one day and he's like, "Dude, have you tried these new spinnerbaits? They look awesome. Like, what are they?" He's like, "It looks like a Terminator." He's like, "But it's better." I'm like, "Why is it better?" He's like, "I don't know. I just like it better." And it's like, "What's it called?" It's like, "It's a Horizon." It's like, "A Horizon?" He's like, "Yeah." It's like, is that like a Horizon?" He said, "I don't know." He's like, "But they're called Horizon." He's like, "Okay." It's the same guy that said Tupelo, Mississippi. Is that next to Tupelo? I don't know. The place is called Tupelo. Oh, okay. Dennis the Menace, what's going on? All right. Kyle Downey, swinging in on the YouTubes. What's up? AJ, what you up to tonight? Painting? Actually doing what you're supposed to be doing? Kicking back on the couch. You probably just got off of work. Daniel, what is the river brim color? Is that isn't that his? Isn't that Cliff's version of this? I think that's Cliff's version of Ed's bull brim. Kyle, that would be embarrassing. Um, yeah, dude, I've done a million of them. If you go back on my page and look, I've done. I might actually have one over here. I've done a wood grain one that was like all wood grain. Let's see. I don't have any of my wood grain ones. I probably have some in my tackle somewhere, but let's see. There's you a foiled one. That's on one of Jimmy Etter's baits. There's another one. That one's foiled. This is the kind of there's a BDS4 with the lip replaced on it. kinds of weird stuff I've done. That's the kind of stuff that hangs around on the wall over here. Practice baits, foil baits. AJ, you did some bull brim yesterday? Now that you're a Chartreuse guy, we're going to see Chartreuse on everything? Yeah, I've got a... that one is pretty impressive. That was pretty badass. Daniel, something like that. Might as well have. That would probably be faster. Jay, I did not listen. I kind of skipped around. Like, I wanted to see what they were talking about, so I like fast forwarded, and I listened. I really didn't listen to anything. I just looked at the pictures when they showed his little paint setup. I looked at those pictures and kept scanning, and then I didn't have much time to like sit and listen, so I just kind of fast forwarded. But any good info? Kyle, I don't know what Jimmy calls that bait. I can't keep up. I think this is called the Gooch. That's one he sent me to paint. The Gooch. But I can't. He's got the grind. I don't know his flat sides because I don't throw flat sides that much, which is why they're all. Dual action Iwatas. I would think I would think it would be harder these days to find an airbrush that wasn't a dual action. Like single action is pretty old school, but there's a ton of guys still using them. I think I saw where who was that talking about it? The Jawjacker dude, Rob Cochran. I think he said somewhere that he still used a single action airbrush. And if anybody is curious as to what a single and double difference is, so a double action airbrush, when you push down on the trigger, you get air. And when you pull back on the trigger, you pull the needle out of the nozzle, releasing paint. So you get the dual action of controlling your air pressure, and then you get the action of controlling how much paint comes out of the nozzle. With a single action, you hit the button and shit flies out. So that's the way the old timers used to do it. They'd set that shit on 35 psi and just go to blasting, and it still works fine. Uh, Especially for like Rob, he's painting stuff like this, just like, you know, his typical, or not his typical, but just typical like uh, classic wood bait patterns. It's like a base color, an underlaid shoulder color, and then scales and a stripe on the back. So for doing stuff like that, um, you really don't need a dual action gun. You just need your 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 air set right and your paint thinned right. Um, so yeah, when I looked at the picture, I saw an old Pache uh, on his bench. It was the one with the red cap on the back. I've got one of those I clear coat with, and I started using that because of we got Columbia over here. Alvaro, ¿qué pasa? We worldwide up in here, South Jersey. It's pretty wild though to think that you got like guys from Japan, Colombia, like all over the world, sitting here watching me like do this, stick eyes on baits. Uh, yeah, Kyle, the dual action's a little better for getting detail, because you really need that control. Uh, but I mean, if you're a production painter, like if you're China, you could do it. You could get away with a single action gun because like everything they have is like set up. You know what I mean? Like all their stencils are cut exactly to their baits. Um, they're just blasting. Um, so they can get away with it. They could. Um, they probably have. Uh, they probably use dual action guns. I'd love to go. Like that's like one of my. As stupid as it sounds, being a painter, I would love to go to China and see uh, how it's really done. Like see their whole process. Like what's their first layer of paint? Like the painting part really doesn't interest me, but like how they hold, you know, however many baits they paint a day. Like just the shit that nobody else would probably look at but me. Um, like if they prep baits, what they do after they pull them out of the mold, like all that kind of stuff. Um, Daniel, you're not supposed to see that. You two dickheads don't be over there trying to reverse engineer my damn scales. It is pretty badass, though, I will say. I will say. Screw it. I'll show you one. Kidding. um, Kyle, yeah, I think that's pretty much how it is in a lot of those factories. Is like I've seen video of the Strike King factory in Costa Rica, and it looks like they like have one person that like base coats, and then they like do their however many baits of base coat, and then they like send it to the next person, and that person sprays like you know uh, the next color or scales or whatever, and then they have like 10 people down the line that like each have a color job, and it goes pretty quick once you have, especially if you're not waiting for paint to dry. Um, that's the like when you're doing, like if you're painting one bait, like if somebody sends me one bait to paint, it's harder. Like it takes, I could probably paint 10 or more. Hell, I could probably paint 20 in the time it would take me to paint that one, because I would constantly have to be waiting for paint to dry. Um, and with like solvent based paint, you can't really rush it. You just gotta kind of, and it dries quick, but I can paint faster than the paint will dry. So it you just have to sit around and wait on it. Otherwise, you're gonna dick it up. And but once you've got like your base color or your base coat, and you're just adding color, it goes pretty quick. It goes pretty quick. What is this? Suguru, on your lunch break. Thanks for stopping by. Glad you think it's interesting. Oh, I didn't know Hella was on. Sorry, Hella. Stole all three of your dudes that wanted to leave you and come over here. AJ, was I talking secrets? I don't remember. I don't remember. Yeah, it is kind of a high rock Tennessee shad slash. It's kind of got a copper green Lucky Craft vibe to it, but with like a high rock little blue thing. I don't know. I was painting it, and Eric just wanted Tennessee shad, and I was like, this is kind of boring. Uh, so I threw that dot on it. And then we got the old classics, powder blue, Chartreuse. Kyle, that's what's funny about the custom painting world, is you see guys when they first get going, uh, they want to paint a sexy shad like everybody does. Like that's like, when you first get going, you typically try a sexy shad. The first bait is usually bullshit that you're just like you're taking all your paint and you're just like throwing it around, seeing how things work. You're not really trying to paint a thing. You're just like dicking off. But once you kind of get a hold of like how to paint, usually people try a sexy shad. But it's always funny to me when I see guys first start painting and then they move into like selling stuff. They always try to sell sexy shad, but a really, really, really shitty version of it. And it's like, listen, dudes, you're not going to out sexy shad China. Like, they're pros. They can do it faster, better, cleaner, cheaper, everything about it. Like, you're not going to outdo them at that. So don't try. Like, why do I want something custom? Why do I want a custom sexy shad that looks shittier than any $5 bait on any rack at any sporting goods store on the planet? I've never understood that. Oh, the Timber Tiger. Yes, I believe it is discontinued. Dickie D. What's going on down in Florida? You've been ripping on any bands? Is there a thing, Dickie D, about do people want the old Strike King, the original Strike King sexy shad? I honestly haven't bought one in so long I couldn't tell you what one looks like. Lost a mega. You must have been finesse fishing in the Rainbow River. What was different about the old one? Because that's all I've got. So it makes me feel better. If it wasn't so late, I'd do my I'd do a Kentucky Lake show and tell with my Strike King baits that I fished on Kentucky Lake when it was in its ledge heyday. They're pretty chewed. Now they look blue. I can see that. I could see them screwing that up. They look like that. Idiots. I don't know what their problem is. This may look like typical powder blue and chartreuse, but it's not. It's got a little sexy overcoat that doesn't show up good. Which one, Daniel? The mystery bait? Todd Smith, what's up? You fish Kentucky Lake? That was my favorite. That was let's see. Oh, I got some original prototype Series 5 and 660s in multiple colors, supposedly painted KVD when they were making that sexy shad down in Mexico before the Chartreuse stripe. That's interesting. Oh yeah, I'd love to see them. I would love to see what any of that prototype shit. I think honestly, I think John Pryor was behind Sexy Shad. I can't be for certain, but he posted a bait back in the day that was very sexy shadish, but rather than like the yellow stripe, it was kind of just like a yellow bar. Or it wasn't a bar, it was just like free-handed, not like stenciled. And I want to say he painted that for somebody. He might have painted it for Kevin, because John would paint. Uh, he would paint for all those dudes. Um, I know he painted a bunch of stuff for Fritz and Zell Roland and like all those like old school dudes. Um, he was the guy, and I think I would maybe give him a little credit for Sexy Shad. I wish I could get John on here and talk about the glory days of custom painting. Dickie D, you remember which color it was? Just out of curiosity. Just out of curiosity. Not trying to name drop, but got them from a Bass Pro that still hangs with KVD. Said he crafted these colors I have with paint on his shoes type effort, but you know how the story goes. Interesting. Purple bluegill with some flake in the clear. Sounds about right. Um, I did buy back in the day. Strike King was making. They were making a bait, and it was like a transparent bluegill that was kind of brown, and it had a really bright blue throat. And my buddy Rob went out and he caught him on that color. Well, then he went to Walmart or something, and Strike King had changed the throat color. And he was like, dude, they changed the color. I was like, okay. And he's like, you gotta get the old color throat. I was like, okay. And he's like, if you see them, buy them for me, and I'll pay you back. Well, me, like, you usually don't ask me that and me not find them. So I found like 15 of them and I bought them all. And of course, like, he didn't want them. I was like, what do you mean you don't want them? You said you want them. He's like, I'm not really fishing that much anymore. Like, and it wasn't like I found them like 6 years later. Like, I found them like still on the shelf. I just like dug through and found the old ones. And it was like a month later. He's like, I don't know. I don't really want to dick with them. I'm like, well, what am I going to do with these stupid things? So they're sitting over there in my sitting over there in my box. And I was thinking to myself, oh, well, I could, maybe these are going to be one of those like rare colors that comes back around and people are like going crazy over. And they're like, oh, I got to have that, special blue throated one. No, of course it didn't. Of course it didn't. Hello, what's up, dude? Yeah, late night. I didn't get enough done today, so here I am again. Here I am back again, sticking eyeballs on these stupid ass, whatever they're called, brush babies. That was what we got a little municipal lake right up the street from us, and there was this guy out there fishing the bank, and he was he was a novice, but he wasn't like completely. He wasn't like hardcore, but you could tell he was a casual fisherman, but he was into it. Um, and he's like, "What's up, dude?" I was like, "What's up?" He said, "You want to catch him?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "This is what you need to be throwing." And I looked at it and I was like, "What is that? A worm?" He's like, "Nah, a brush baby." And it was a brush hog. And I was like, "It looks like a brush hog." He's like, "Nah, man." He's like, "It's that brush baby." I was like, oh, "Okay." Yeah. It's like, "Where do you get those?" Like, Academy. I was like, "Okay." I was like, "If I need them, do I just need to ask for brush babies?" He's like, "Yeah, they'll know." I was like, "All right, brush babies." So from now on, a brush hog is only known as a brush baby. It sounds better anyway. I like the way brush baby sounds better than brush hog. Jay, they might have. I don't know. Dan, I never. I honestly, like everybody I knew. Um, everybody I knew, like at that time, was like in love with a brush hog. And like you'd hear about guys, like you'd hear like people be like, oh, like you know, like if Ishman Monroe's trying to catch a giant, he throws a full size brush hog. Like he fishes a brush hog a lot. It's like, oh, cool. Then you hear about this other guy. And it's like, oh, this pro like loves a brush hog, and like my buddy was like, oh, dude, if I need a bite, like I'm gonna throw a baby brush hog, brush baby. It's like, oh, okay. And I just never like I caught fish on a baby brush hog, but it wasn't the bait I was in love with. You know what I mean? I was in love with the I was in love with the tube. See, Dan, I think that was I think that's where it all stems from. It's like you you pick that thing up in like middle school, high school, and it just rolls with you. But honestly, this is before like I will say, like when the brush baby was out and the big brush baby. I mean, there wasn't a lot of like creature baits. There was like the like Gene Larue had some. AJ binged Denny videos. AJ, I would maybe add a buzz bait to that, and you would be 100% correct. Um, Team No Fish. I was uh, I was in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Now this is pre-Biffle Bug. This is when they had the what was that big nasty thing? Uh, it wasn't the Why Not. It was something Who Daddy. The Who Daddy. I think they had the Who Daddy. It was like a I don't even know what you'd call that thing. the Hoodaddy was like a crawl tube with like twisty legs. No, it's hard for me to get behind the biffle bug. It's too ugly. It's the same with the gambler otter thing. The Hoodaddy gambler had the why not. Yeah, that's it. Doesn't bitters have a why not or something similar to that? Do y'all shop at bitters? I'm a big fan because I like buying in bulk. Dad bought. I'll have to look at the Hogwalla. I'm not familiar with it. Gambler makes the why not. What's that one from Bitters? It's really ugly. Oh, the Sweet Beaver story. I know you guys have probably heard this before, but when I was in college, this would have been from like 2000. I don't know. This was probably in like 2005. I'm guessing 4. I walked into the local tackle store, and this was the guy who was managing Woods and Water, the tackle shop at that time, was probably the best purchaser I've ever seen in a like local tackle store. Dude was incredible. Ring-a-ling, that's what it is, hella. But the dude was very he knew his shit. And I was in there just shopping one day, and he was like, "Hey, man," he's like, "You from around here?" I was like, "Yeah." And he was probably like, I would have been in my early 20s. He was probably like my age now. He was probably late 30s. And he was like, "You fish around here?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, I'm from I fished the Columbus pool. Like that's where I grew up. Was over on that side of the Tom." I was like, "Okay." And he said, "Where do you fish? Like, you fish the Warrior?" I was like, "I fish at Miller's Ferry a lot." And he's like, "Oh, in Alabama?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, cool." He's like, "Have you tried these baits?" And I'm like, "What are they?" And he's like, "They're called sweet beavers." And I was like, "Never heard of them." And he told me, he's like, "I'm the first guy to get these east of the Mississippi." This is when Andre was still in Arizona. So he's like, dude's making them out in Arizona. I was like, okay. So he's like, we got a bunch of colors over there. He was like, try some out. So I went over there and looked. First 2 packs of Sweet Beavers I ever bought. It's the same colors with the exception I've added the Magic Crawl Red. But the first ones I picked up, I said, penetration looks like the shit. Got penetration. And then I said, all right, I got black and blue. I need a green looking one. So I bought sprayed grass. Never looked back, dude. First time I took a 3/0 Gamakatsu Superline. Got me a 5/16 ounce, probably a true tungsten back then. Got me a little bobber stopper. And actually, I was probably using toothpicks. This was maybe pre-bobber stopper. Um, and I want to say it might have been the first pitch I ever made with a sweet beaver. I caught a 4-pounder. And then in less than, say, 15 casts, I had 20 pounds on about 6 different cypress trees, like in a row. And it's hard to explain if you've never been on a bite like that where there's something to the bait. And like I felt like when I fished that bait, like after that day, like if there was a fish where I was pitching, I was going to get bit. And I'd never seen fish bite. And I didn't like I guess at that time I was a pitcher and a flipper. I was trying to be Denny Brower, but dude, there was really nothing like that bite. Like it was insane how good they bit a sweet beaver back then. AJ, that is disgusting. That's disgraceful. That is disgraceful. AJ Mindy has never fished an actual sweet beaver. That's pathetic. Dickie D, I'm with you. Like they don't eat a sweet beef like they did back then, and it was like a legit thing. Like they bit that bait better than anything, and it wasn't like bullshit like confidence, like like people tell you like confidence is everything. Like that bait when it came out was not. It was 100% the bait. Um, it was, and like I said, if you've never experienced something like that, I'm sure it was the same thing with the guys that like first got on the chatterbait. You know what I mean? Like they were probably rolling around like, dude, this thing is insane. That's how I was with the sweet beef when it first came out, and I probably still got one of my packs of my like the first run sweeps because they were. I think I've got still some of the bloody bug, the June bug red. Hella, he definitely slid. D bombs and pit balls. What did you throw before a D bomb and a pit boss? Yeah, missile's got great colors. The only thing I don't like, Travis Stearman, are you there still, or did you go to bed? Um, I went and used some bait that Travis sent me, and he sent me some of the little the missiles kind of answer to a speed crawl, whatever it's called. Um, he sent me those in like a penetration-esque color, and I flipped it in some duck blinds down here, and I was not a fan. There you are, Travis. Uh, that thing stayed hung up I don't know what was going on with it, dude. Like the hook kept coming out, and like I just didn't like how the hook rode in the back. Like coming in and out of that duck blind stuff, like the canes, it would pull out like every every pitch or every flip, and I don't know if it was me, like something about my mechanics or how I do something, but we did not get along. Jay, penetration is black and blue with silver glitter. And I was thinking about this when I was talking shit about American companies not having a like their own like personality and kind of chasing behind other people. Uh, the exception to that is reaction. Reaction to me is they're probably the to me they're the best U.S. bait company in the nation. Like them, love them, hate them, whatever. Reaction does their thing, and like I feel like they're one of the people that like people just kind of wait to see what they're going to do next. Yeah, that was funny at the store that I bought these from. We're in the Bible Belt, and they took white stickers and covered up the little cartoon bikini girl on the package, which I thought was so stupid. But they paid somebody to do that. Um, Jay, I've still got the packages. Hold on. Oh. Scottsdale, Arizona. That was the girl they covered up. Uh, oh, you didn't like the artwork. You liked their actual package, like the plastic. Here's one. Ooh, here's this one's got a different chick on it. This one's got this creepy girl on it. She's like I don't know what you'd call her, like a dominatrix. I guess that's why it's called the Dominator series. The Dominator series, the Trixie series. Uh, I'm probably showing too much because I don't know if any of y'all have noticed what this beaver is. Or that package is unusually large. Here you go. This is what they used to do. Dickie D, that was a double wide. I barely even fuck around with that little old bitty beaver, the regular beaver. I used to have to order my hooks from Europe. I used to order a cod hook, a straight shanked cod hook that came in like a 6/0 from Europe to flip the double wide beaver. Because nobody made, like, you could buy the BMF, and that's still what I used for years. Was the BMF from Reaction, but even their 5/0 was too small for the double wide. The double wide is the juice. It is the sleeper of the whole Reaction line. I don't know. I honestly, in my group of guys that I know, I don't know anybody with one pack of double wide beavers. I've never seen one in anybody's boat that I fished with. Like around here, I'm the only person I've ever seen, and I don't like pull that thing out and like show it. Like that's not just something I have like dangling on my deck for people to ride by and look at. But I have caught some 6s on that. I hope they never discontinue it. I've got enough that I should be. My beaver wall over here is pretty hefty, so hopefully I don't need. Hopefully I don't need any anytime soon. But I need red. I need red eyes for the last few. South Jersey Fisherman, I've got some of those too, and I didn't like them. I didn't like the action. I do like the big bellows gill, but I don't like how expensive they are. And Dickie D, see you later, dude. Howdy, Bert. What are you doing? Oh, red eye for this this color. Bert, we're both working the night shift. Only difference is I've been working the day shift too. Took me a while to get going this morning. I had like 4 people call me and talk on the phone, and after I talked to everybody, I look up and it's like 11 o'clock. It's like, shit. I had shit to do. Then I went in there and tried to like super speed what I was doing, and that didn't really work, and I didn't get done. So went home, fed the kid, kissed the wife, played with the baby, came back. Bert, did you go to Brad's wedding? South Jersey, I don't remember which size they were. They were big. They used to be sitting right here by my desk. I don't know what I've done with them. Bart, I didn't either. We lost the Amy misplaced the wedding invitation. I didn't even know when it was. Yeah, they were big. South Jersey, they were like hand size or large. But the bellows gill is another bait that gave me like memories of the first day fishing with a sweet beef, which I didn't catch them as good, but they bit it kind of like that, to where you kind of feel like if you get that thing in front of one, that they're gonna bite it. But I don't know how anybody uh, anybody on the planet could afford to go fishing for a day with and be on a bite for be on a bellows gill bite, because they bite it good enough that you're going to go through them. But like, you could go through like 10 packs of those in a day because they break after one fish. There you go. There's a completed bait. It's like a flitter shad, but in a crankbait. It's got that big, heavy flake glitter. This is more green than it looks brown in the camera, but it's actually green. Brad, I don't. I mean, Bert, I don't. Dustin, did you leave just to watch? You say, fuck it, I quit. I'm going to watch Hella. Catching lunkers, I've seen them for sale, but I don't have anybody that I don't know anybody that pours soft plastics that I could send the mold to pour me baits. Ooh, now we're talking. South Jersey Thunderhawk version of the bellows gill called the Grenade, and they're made of Elastec, so they last a little longer. That's interesting. Thunderhawk. I saw them somewhere, I thought. I was ordering mine from China. They sell a 100% like ripoff of the bellows gill. Nico rig, Nico using the plastic clip. That's interesting. Jay, I never heard about Alton using the bellows as a trailer. That sounds interesting. What's it called? Thunderhawk. I gotta remember that. Where's my marker? I guess I gotta sign these damn things. Shout out to Thunderhawk. Smart guys. All right. We're signing Tennessee shads. One down, 80 to go. Catching lunkers, you better tell me who that man is. I really don't give a rat's ass what the colors are. I'd like to have a black and blue one, or a Okeechobee crawl, or something like that. But I just need a bunch of them, or something that I'm not gonna, break every fish. Because I was fishing with a dude, um, and it was like late in the tournament day, and we were fishing like a community hole, and I tied that thing on and started pitching it, and I was getting bit like every other cast. And he was like, "What are you throwing?" And I showed it to him. He's like, "What is that thing?" And I was like, "It's called a bellows gill." And he's like, "They like it." And I was like, "Yeah, they do like it." And those were a lot of those fish are retreads. So it was pretty impressive. Thunderhawk lures grenades. Castledine's got me wanting to sell all my damn Gamakatsu super lines and buy the owner, whatever owner's Zowire EWG is, the Haymaker. I'm interested. Anybody tried that hook yet? Owner Haymaker? Excuse me. What time is it? Almost 11. Nice. Thunderhawk wishes they were the new Googans. Otherwise, if they were, they'd be printing money. Yeah, this is root beer. Eric's killing me with all this damn flake. Speaking of the Superline EWG, like I've been throwing that hook since it came out. Hands down, always been my favorite hook for everything. And Eric was talking to it about. He was talking. He's like, I don't like that. Like, what don't you like? And he's like, I don't like how the point's even with the eye. I'm like, why do you not catch fish on it? And he's like, no. I was like, what's the fucking problem then? I was like, I've caught 10 million bass on that thing. And he's like, yeah, so have I. I'm like, so what's your issue? He's like, I don't know, it just bothers me. Okay. It's like, but it doesn't bother you because it's inefficient. And he's like, not really. But he was just talking about in principle that the bite was shorter because the point didn't stick up over the line tie or something. Like, dude, it sticks them. I don't care. I'm not trying to, dig up shit that doesn't need to be dug up. That's just like looking for an excuse to I never got into the trocar stuff. I did buy some of their weedless wacky hooks. Only problem is I don't weedless wacky. So couldn't tell you how sucky or good those are. But for some reason, when you're like walking through a tackle shop, you think, you know what? I'll probably get in a bind one day, and I'll need a weedless wacky hook, and this one looks nice. Never weedless wackies. But if I want to, I've got a nice trocar hook with a weed guard on it. I think I saw those Thunderhawk guys. Somebody was doing a walkthrough at maybe the East Tennessee Fishing Show. And when they were doing their walkthrough, I saw that. I think they stopped and talked to those people. But all right, bros, I'm about to have to get off of here after I get all these signed up. Bert wants to know what's the most fish you've ever caught on one single lure, and I guess we're talking soft plastics. $12 bass. I don't even know. I don't even know. Certainly wasn't a sweet beef. Jay, do you shop at Bitters? You're down there in South Florida. You'd think I was getting paid by Bitters as much as I talk about them. I love that damn place. Dennis the Menace caught 27 bass on an 8-inch weedless Hud. That doesn't surprise me. Actually, I think I've got Bitters on the brain because I just got an order from them yesterday. Got the big bag. Wonder Bread? I don't think so. But for some reason, that sounds like when you say that, I'm like, have I? Have I? Because I've done some weird shit over the years that I've probably forgotten about. But it wouldn't surprise me if I have and I've forgotten. But maybe somebody asked me to and I declined it and then they had somebody else do it. I don't know. Oh, yeah, I remember you telling me about that, Jay. Critical Gravy. This is a new hat. My other one I couldn't find, so I pulled this one out, and I'm starting to mess it up. I'm starting to get it greasy. It's still pretty good. I've only been grimying it up for about a week now. After people were telling me on other streams that my hat looked like it was made of leather, I said maybe it's time. Maybe it's time to retire it. I think I've got them on the website. I have. I have 5 left. And I say I've got 5 left. I'll probably steal 3 of those for my backup. And I had a pro dude want a hat, so I'll probably send one to him. So leaves one for you. All right. You wouldn't think signing baits would take so long. This is a damn. I guess it really, in the grand scheme of the whole project, doesn't take that long. Bert, I probably do. I think I know I've got my original Mesa tubes, but you don't want those. Those things are pieces of shit. I took my Lone Star to get worked on because it sounded really shitty. It was getting farty, and I took it to that dude on the service road, and I told him it was sounding farty, and he changed the tubes out, which I didn't want because I can change my own damn tubes, but he changed them out, and I think this one's going into the trash. You can't see it. No. What is with this damn thing? That one is split at the seam. Wasted my time on that one. I'll send it to Eric and let him fill it full of epoxy. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't think about that. That guitar tubes are in a shortage because they're typically produced in Russia. And I guess there's some shit going on in Russia. Jay ought to probably had to pick them things up. What am I missing over here? Thunderhawk. Man, I gotta look into this Thunderhawk, guys. Not that I need any more shit, but just to keep my finger on the pulse of the fishing market. See what these guys are doing. Bert, I brought it home and it still sounded farty, but the dude played it and I played it, but I feel like I kind of like blacked out at his shop. Like I really wasn't paying attention to what I was supposed to be paying attention to. Like I really like we were like playing the amp, but I was like listening to him play more than I was listening to like because he was like, listen, it sounds fine. And started playing, and I was like listening to him play rather than listen to what it actually sounded like. So then I got home and plugged it in, and it still sounded like ass. Uh, so I was like, you didn't fix this thing. You just took my old good tubes out and put new good tubes in it. Where's my old good tubes? I should have got those back because there wasn't anything wrong with them. I've been meaning to bring a guitar up here, but I haven't done it yet. Bert, the only other thing I was thinking was that like it's my guitar, and the fartiness might be coming from my guitar. I think the pickups in it are really low output. They're the guitars that I'm both playing right now. I haven't tried an actual real guitar. The two guitars that I'm playing right now are Lawsuit Telecasters from the '80s, early '80s, and they have really low output pickups. And I think I probably raised them up too high to get them a little more bite. And I think that might be why it's farting out. So I could probably lower my pickups, my ass pickup a little bit, and see if I can get rid of that farting. But I probably need to play it with a properly set up guitar. Catching Lunkers, yes. Everything is going on sale April 1st. This whole wall is going up for sale. I'm going to put numbers on each baits, and then I'm just going to have everybody. I'm going to give people numbers, and then at random, and then I'm going to put little bingo balls in a thing and a hamster wheel and spin it around and pick out balls, and whatever your number is, if it matches a bait on the wall, you get the bait. April 1st. AJ, I mean, how old is it? Sell it to me. I'll trade you some Chartreuse paint. How old is this Mexi Strat? Late 90s? That's probably a $500 guitar, I would guess. Jay, I don't have any pets. I could have. I mean, I don't feel like. Uh, Jeremy, I'm dragging my ass on the damn drop. I've been very behind on that. What is the what's the color of this Mexi Strat, AJ? Oh, back in the day, probably 6 years ago or longer. This guy from here, who has since passed away, um, was sending me these Pat's baits, and I didn't know what they were. And he was like, just paint it like the most badass color you can think of. And I was like, okay. And he would never cared what color the color was. He would just say, paint it badass. Okay. So I would do that. And I was wondering, like, what was going on with these baits. Like, I never saw them anywhere. Like, the dude didn't fish. And I thought he was just like a collector or something. But he painted a few baits, and he would sell those on various Facebook groups. But he always sold his baits for cheaper than anybody else. He sold all his baits for like $5. And I was like, what do you do for a living? And he's like, I paint fishing lures and sell them. And I was thinking to myself, I've seen this guy's what he's doing on Facebook, and he's selling like 10 of these things a week. That's like $50. So where is that? How exactly is this man making a living? Well, come to find out, he had this hookup for these Pat's baits, Hinkles, like all this high end shit. And he was one of the forerunners of the waffle groups. So he was taking these Pats and he was raffling them off for like 2 G's or something stupid, dude. Like $1,500 a clip. And I was like, oh, that's how you make a living. I was like, you raffle off one of these baits a week. And he was like, yeah. He was like, whenever I need money, like if I need like a quick $1,000, I just raffle a bait off. And I was like, oh, that must be nice, because I'm like working my dick off to make like 500. You're not doing anything, and you're raffling a bait for $1,000. But I think I've made enough good relationships in the world that if I wanted a Pats, I would have access to a Pats if I wanted to play that favor card, but I don't. So I think if there was some reason I really needed a Pats bait, I think I could make that happen. But I don't want one. I don't need one. I don't have any interest in owning one. So uh, I've painted a million of them. But no, I don't. I never, like, it took me like 2 years of painting them before I ever knew that they were like valuable. I thought they were like some shitty slammer. Um, South Jersey, I'm on the damn Pats group. It's fucking hilarious. Like, that's probably one of the most entertaining Facebook groups there is. But I never comment or do it. Like, I don't participate, but I lurk a lot. It's pretty good. Pretty good. All right, gentlemen, 11 o'clock. Maybe I can go clear coat this shit and be out of here by midnight. And then all will be good in the world. And then I can start over again tomorrow and do another 80 of these pieces of shit. Hella, thanks for swinging in and staying up late. I'm about to roll as well, except I'm going to roll to the damn clear coating room. Whew. All right. Well, hope y'all enjoyed the top 5 swim bait. I don't know. I don't even have that many. I'll tell you what's one of my favorites that gets the shit dogged out of it is the damn Evergreen S flat / 6 cents flow glider. That was like the bait I started with because I could buy them. I could buy the blanks, and that thing caught the shit out of them. Worked awesome. Like I don't know why people want to get janky on that thing, but oh, I really liked it. Um, I've got more baits I don't like than I do like. Let's just say that. I don't know that I've got a. That's the, as bad as it sounds. Like that's the only real like plastic swim bait that I've actually thrown that I liked. You know what I mean? Uh, every other one I've thrown, I like looked at it and I was like, this thing looks like ass. I don't like this. Well, I mean, they may get bit like crazy, but if it looks like ass to me, I'm not gonna have fun throwing it. So I just like shovel it off and go to the next thing. Like I got a bunch of them up here, like hanging up. Stuff I went out there and threw once and looked at it and went, no thanks. All right, guys, I'm going to clear coat. Wish me luck. Bad sign. Thanks for swinging in. What kind of bait you working on? But had a good crew tonight on both sides. Dad bod, I'm right there with you on the bod. Y'all be good. Thanks for swinging in. We'll do it again. Adios. Close you down. Close this guy down. Peace be with you.